So, episode 46. Man, that sounds good saying from my chest.
Wait till we get to 50.
Oh, man.
I'm going to get too old, man.
Yeah.
Too old. All right. So, the topic that we're really going to talk about tonight is we initially already talked about this topic since the beginning of the pandemic.
I like that.
Yeah, we could highlight as the topic.
Mm-hmm.
But we already did talk about this and why is the best time to start trading overall. And I feel like when we first talked about it, it was just like, oh, people thought, this was just going to fade. It wasn't going to go anywhere. It was just not going to continue. Like, we just felt like this was just like a flame.
COVID, you mean?
Yeah, COVID, yeah. And a lot of people just, didn't prepare for what was going to be upcoming months after months. Like, being in complete lockdown, jobs are firing employees left and right without remorse because they got to just hold on to their business because that's going to be the top priority. If there's no business, that's it. No one is going to be getting paid. Yep. Business is shutting down. You're seeing a lot of online stores picking up. Everyone is like converting online. We're converting into the whole digital era, right? And that caused like a whole shift of momentum, and for the fact that people are not obtaining another skill set during this time really baffles me. Like,
it's mind blowing.
Like people start to see the online presence, but they're not taking that affirmative action to be like, man, all right, not just because you want to live life comfortable. I don't feel like anyone should be living life comfortable. I feel like you should always continue to explore your opportunities all the time. Like, because anything could happen. Switch up. How are you going to prepare yourself down the road? Your rent, food, your family that needs to be taken care of. Like, so I feel like everyone should always be obtaining a new skill set, rather if you like it or you don't. At least you could say proudly that you have a skill set that you could obtain during, especially these tough times where a lot of people are not going to be able to go back to their job. People are doing things that they regularly are not doing anyway. So, salute to that. But, if you guys want to elaborate more on it, especially how we, I know Michael, we talked about this, and here we are, almost at the ending of 2020.
Facing it's more than just trading too.
Yeah, and some people are still not aware, but there are a lot of people that are finally opening their eyes to the opportunity of trading.
Yeah, I'm starting to see trading get more trendy. I'm starting to see people talk about it, probably thanks to Robinhood and all that stuff. And obviously that's fine. If you got the skill sets to do that, that's great. But I think like the question is now a good time to trade at the end of 2020 or to learn to become a trader? And I would say, well, let's kind of look at what's happened this year. Yep. You have a general mindset of the population. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're not aware of what I'm about to tell you, you should do your research. You're sitting in the middle. You're living through one of the largest transfers of wealth we've ever seen in this country. Wealth is being transferred right between your eyes. You have people who are sitting around doing nothing, right? They're just missing the boat. So, for example, beginning of COVID, right?
Yeah.
The majority of the population chose to complain on Facebook, complain on Instagram, buy toilet paper, and sit around.
Yeah, a lot of memes been created.
You're creating memes, and I love you guys know, you follow me on Instagram, you know you like my memes.
People got time. Like I'm saying, I'm just being on that social media presence and observing everyone and what they're feeding their energy to. It's just like, wow.
But there are people that we're seeing, and I will say I am one of these people. I have a lot more work to do. There's a lot of things that I want to do to get better. But I'm sitting in a room with 5 people here who are doing the opposite. I chose to go towards, I want to get ahead and develop a new skill set, just like Ken said. And I would say if you're listening to this podcast and you think, all right, well, I don't know, is it still a good time to trade? I would say absolutely. I started in the beginning of the pandemic, and here I am trading, teaching. And it's really a mindset. It doesn't have to be trading. It could be anything. But I think it's the decision to take a risk and say, instead of feeding into the cultural disaster mindset, oh my gosh, the world's ending. What am I going to do? I'm going to get COVID or I'm stuck. And I don't care if a shutdown happens. I'm going to go find ways to get mine. Mm-hmm. That's my thought is go get yours. Literally go up, get yours. And if you want to do it, Forex trading is great, man.
That's also like the issue. Like a lot of people are just so worried about other people of like getting the damn COVID, you know, or this person lost their job, and they should be focusing and prioritizing themselves.
Yeah.
You know, like if everyone just focus on themselves and stop worrying about if you're going to catch it or not. I don't want to like say and justify like I never got COVID. I did get COVID. Everyone got COVID, you know? So like you're walking around passing it regardless. Going to restaurants, having your mask, and then, you're seated. You could take it off. Like, no, like everyone got it. Like, I don't care.
Like what the president of Brazil said.
Yeah, like I don't care. You guys could at me after this podcast episode. You did get COVID.
That's
like,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
So like, it doesn't even matter. This whole year has been like a foolish routine by politicians. You know, everyone should be taking the time to really, really learn any passive income opportunities.
Well, I have questions for you guys on that note because you guys did the original podcast earlier in this year.
Yeah.
And it was kind of related to, should I get into Forex trading now? Is it a good time? So now that we've gone through almost a year.
Yeah.
COVID's almost birthday. It's almost a year old, right?
Yeah.
What you guys have
really not as strong as it should be. Like the momentum has been so strong to like, oh damn, this is real. But and then you see the numbers not adding up. Then you see, you know, you have Donald Trump saying that he had COVID, and then 2 days later he's back in office. Like
he was struggling though.
Yeah. My questions for you guys is, you know, you probably made your observations back then.
Yep.
You know, my first question is, you know, has anything changed since then about should people become a trader, the trading world, and now we're towards the end of 2020. Is it still a good time to trade? Well, give me some thoughts on that.
Well, it's rare in life where you definitely get two chances to strike when an iron's hot.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
now,
gold right there. That's
right?
true.
But now, at the first one was a little bit of like, okay, I need to make a rash decision and say, do I want to learn this or not? Because COVID could be bad. COVID could be around for a while, right? There were so many questions as to how bad it was, how severe it was, everything was up in the air, right? How long could a shutdown last? We didn't expect baseball to be out for 100 games. We didn't expect the NBA to be out for 5 months. We didn't expect for states to open to shut down over again, right? So now that we've seen it, if people don't take advantage of this next shutdown that's going to happen and decide to level themselves up one way or another, then it's almost like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? Mm-hmm. You're letting it pass in front of your eyes all over again. And we've had, just with what we've had over the past year, and you can attest to what the community looked like once it started. We've had a successful year, right? So it's like, why not do something like this? But here's the thing: you could do something. You have to make sure, though, that the caveat to what you're doing, either A, is something that makes you happy where you're going to live with the consequences of struggle, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you take, let's say, an entrepreneurship on, you know, let's say photography. Well, if you open your own business and you're doing photography, right, you got to understand that you might actually start losing customers depending on the small businesses that are going to go out of business or the people that aren't going to have money to spend. So that trade that you, and I use that word trade, no pun intended.
I wonder what that means.
But the trade that you learn should be something that's going to make you money in desperate times. And that's not selling drugs, right? That's not doing illegal shit. This is something that can do that.
Yep.
So if you take your time, especially now at the end of the year where things are wrapping up and we haven't hit anything yet at all. These are all speculations. Unemployment is a speculation. Stimulus package is a speculation. The shutdown, because Biden's not in office yet until January, it's a speculation. All of it is speculation, but the writing's on the wall. Like, literally, life is telling people, if you're not leveling up, level the fuck up now.
Have to.
do it. If you don't, sorry, on to the next one. And there may not be another opportunity like this because we've seen the market go from one thing, for me, 2.5 years ago, starting. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine how many times Ken has seen it over the past 6 years evolve, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I got myself involved in trading, because just looking at the timeline from every president and how the economy has been run, even when I wasn't fully aware of what trading was, but I did pay attention to how the economy was being ran. And I wanted something that, even though during like tough times, I wanted to obtain a skill set during rough times. So people that can be working, that 9 to 5, like, if businesses are gone and that's it. You got to move on and try to find something that could feed yourself and your family included. So when I found, trading Forex, I was like, perfect. You don't need to have a background. You don't need to be the most smartest person. You don't even need to be the most person that's very knowledgeable in numbers. Like, and when people,
I get that question all the time.
we get that all the time. We get that all the time, and people feel like they need to be knowledgeable about being smart in math. I was like, no. Like, for me, I love numbers, and math is where I excel and stuff like that, but it really doesn't even come down to that.
Right.
So like, when you obtain that skill set, that is where I found my gold mine. That's where I found my breaking point to everything in life, where it could be truly the best vehicle if you could fully capitalize off it. To have a recession-proof opportunity where you could actually make money when the company is booming, or are we heading into depression?
That's my point.
Yeah, and
recession-proof point.
And we're living in times where people can't even pay rent. Like, you're now looking to living on the streets and getting scraps or whatever you can because you weren't as acknowledgeable when the opportunity was right there in front of you. You just ignored it because you're living life comfortable. And I'm not saying like you should be living life like comfortable, but like still have that open awareness of opportunities, because the typical average citizen in our country, we pass opportunities over and over and over, and then we question ourselves, why haven't I excelled to the next level? And that's the problem with people. Stop passing opportunities. Try it. If it failed, great. There's another opportunity. You can scratch that off. It didn't work. There's a lot of opportunities out there. Google is not free for no reason on your internet browser. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
Like, it's free. You could type in whatever opportunity that you feel like that could work out. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But
absolutely.
Like
but we're typing in on other things, going on memes, catching up on how Kim Kardashians are living their lives. Like,
bro, we're focusing on
like,
all the wrong
So it's
stuff.
like all the wrong things that you're not getting any value back to yourself.
See, what's the biggest distraction right now?
Election.
No,
Cool
election's
COVID.
over. Election's over. The biggest distraction right now that would stop anybody from deciding what they want to do is the fact that it's almost like this is retail season now. It's time to spend money. So Black Friday, Christmas, Thanksgiving, the holidays.
So might as well get everybody on lockdown so they have time to go spend money.
Yeah.
Right. Wait to give the lockdown until after the holidays when more spending can happen. Right. So you have everywhere, like one of my tabs on my laptop right here, best Black Friday deals. Now, don't get me twisted. I look at these things.
Yeah.
Because
we all do.
The market goes slow, right? But please believe the very first tabs on here are TradingView, Forex Factory, my economic calendar, currency strength meter. It's my job part of it that's the most important, right? So yeah, it's work hard, play hard that's listed there. But you've got people that don't even care, and they're like, hey, how can I go spend the money that's in my account right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they don't think about what's going to happen tomorrow, and then they're going to deal with tomorrow like, holy shit, I should have saved my money from yesterday. Mm-hmm. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Take the step ahead and prepare, right? If you prepare, then whatever we get hit with, this is why we're sitting in here like, you said it, I agree with you, Ken agrees with you. I don't give a fuck whether we lock down or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about that shit.
Yeah,
I'm still living my life the same way.
I didn't get excited. I didn't get excited for the new Xbox and PlayStation 5 come out because I'm looking at my time. Look at how much I wake up from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. It's not the typical average person that's just living life. There's no time for me to. This is saying that my mom always used to tell me when I was younger, when I was playing video games all the time, and she was like, "Why are you building someone else's dream?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, I go into a GameStop and buy a video game, and I'm like, damn, I just helped that person, who designed this game, is profiting.
The release company, the designer, the GameStop guy.
I was just like, I paid them.
Sold it to you.
Where I could have initially invested my money elsewhere, or probably with an opportunity that could have paid me, right?
Right.
So I don't care about this release. We get so caught in with our society that if you don't get the new iPhone, you don't get the new PlayStation or Xbox, you don't get the new shoe releases, then you're really missing out.
The shoe releases really fuck with me now, but
I
don't need the new iPhone.
You don't really fuck with his.
But it's different when you're like financial to actually afford it and buy it, exactly. If you're putting yourself into a situation that your bank account is not going to look pretty, then
right. I think we're speaking in the general population with the largest class of people out there are the ones who are not pursuing wealth. They are the small, the 1%ers are they're buying stuff, but they can afford it, right? The majority, the middle class, whatever you want to call them, are spending all of their paychecks. They are buying the PlayStation because they have the middle class mindset. Yep. And it actually doesn't have to do with your wealth. I call middle class mindset. I don't care how much money you make. Mm-hmm. You could be a 1% class person and make whatever income you want. But the middle class mindset says, I'm entitled, pay me, take care of me. I'm going to go do my job, come home and play my Xbox and PlayStation. I'm going to bitch,
take
complain.
care of my situation.
That is I'm scared, I'm unable, I'm just somebody take care of me.
The government, please help
me. I'm going to play,
out.
I'm going to tune it out, and I'm going to numb myself with whatever I can, whether it be TV, Netflix, Xbox, fast food, alcohol, whatever it may be. Somebody just numb me. Let me numb a little bit, and then I'll go back to my life, and then I'll bitch, and I'll complain. I'm going to do it all over again because that's all I know. That's all I care.
So, let me take back something I said. I don't care whether we go into a shutdown or not, but I do get excited, right? And I'll tell you why I get excited.
This is going to be spicy.
Well, the reason why I get excited, this is going to sound disrespectful, but so be it. If people don't care about what's going to happen or where they're at, then you know what? Fuck it, whatever. But I get excited because I want to see the sheep get scared, right? Because the sheep getting scared is going to happen to help us to make money.
That's fact.
Right?
All right.
So when I'm sitting here and I'm like, ooh, we have a shutdown coming. People are scared when I'm sitting here like, oh, dollar signs.
Yeah.
Why? Because people are going to pull out their stocks, which is going to do what? It's going to push down all the stock markets and all the indices. Guess what we're doing?
Capitalize off it.
We're selling.
Well, that's just part of the whole what already happened once. It's the I'm telling people, if you are not aware, there is a huge transfer of wealth happening. Like
into my wallet.
It's the money. Yeah, it's facts. There's new money coming. There's a lot of, it's actually, I think it's pretty exciting. There's old money who are doing their old plays. They've been doing this for 20, 30 years. The 1% knows exactly what is going on. But there are also some youngsters like us. There's some new money, newer people who are chasing money, right? Who are like, okay, all right, hold on. Y'all are doing this over here. Wait, what are these powerful people doing? They're making money right now. How do I do that? I will agree with you, Michael. I'm pretty excited for that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to sound like a dick, but I am.
You also gotta give acknowledgement for the people that have been looking into trading and actually taking full advantage. Like, they have finally awoken. They have taken action. They're
a lot of our students
to
are just
find other passive
it.
ways of income. Like, so like I don't want to be like, we're knocking off the people that haven't been full aware of why they should be start to trade now. But like there are people that are finally realizing like, damn, what I'm currently doing is not working. So I need to find something that's different. Like I have responsibilities. I still have my goals. I'm not allowing this to hold me back. Like, when you see a lot of different people, like trading is like now becoming like, I want to say like like a complete lifestyle change, but like it's trending. Like,
Definitely
even if it's trading in stocks, binary options, forex trading, trading is becoming like kind of like a topic. Like people are starting to like slowly gather what it is, like, but they're just, when you have a lot of different companies that are trying to pave the way for other people that like, hey, trading's the way. And then that's when you need to decipher, if this service is going to help me or this person is going to educate me on it. Like, so, it's like a time for you to experience it to see what is right for you.
Right.
So.
I kind of look at this as when they say history repeats itself.
Yeah.
When we were just old Western times in a growing country, right? We had revolutions.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a financial revolution. Like we had the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
There's always a form of like a reset button to get people to rethink, right? Of course, we have corrections in markets. We have corrections in this, that, and the other, right? And I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, you got to reprogram.
Reprogramming.
Yeah, you got to reprogram to program.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically this whole year.
I got to think out the box.
Yeah.
Shout out your hashtag.
Yeah.
I got to think out the box, right? Because a 9 to 5 just isn't going to cut it for me anymore. So what am I going to do? But I have this challenge in front of me that says not only do I need to revamp myself and say I need to give myself a skill or a better way to take care of my family financially, but I need it to be better than what I'm going up against, which is this fucking bullshit virus.
Yeah.
Right?
Did we talk about the digital depression on a podcast? That
Not
was
yet.
Ken and I. Remember when we said that?
That was one of the podcasts we were going to be talking about is digital depression.
Yeah.
Well, because you said something like a financial revolution, and Ken and I were talking one day, and I think Ken's the one who said it. It's like, yeah, it's like a digital depression where everybody is so like intoxicated by this like digital social media. Everybody's like locked in. Remember we talked about that?
It's the shock and awe factor.
Yeah. Ken's the one who brought it up.
We're facing a digital war.
Yeah.
And people are not realizing it because it's not physical. Like, it's not something that you could see, or people are even acknowledging it.
And that's
like
the scary part.
And and that is a very scary part. And it feels like it keeps everyone guessing. They're like, what is it? Like, this and that. Like, and it's not only just with our country. Every country is involved in this. Like, every country is playing a role. Like, we're all facing to try to get everyone to, reprogram their mind and thinking that this is what's causing it. But there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, and some has displayed a little bit, but they're chancing it. They're like, they don't give a fuck. Like, people are not gonna put pieces all together. We're gonna make this look so conspiracy, and people are not gonna even go for it. So there's like that small percentage of people that do know what's going on, and then the masses of people are just still thinking that everything is just normal. Like, all of this is happening for a reason. Like, they're not even aware. And that sucks for a lot of people that are not fully aware of it, or even taking the time to figure out, because everything's out there. Like, it's really out there once you start piecing it all together. But
my overall,
and I feel like for a lot of like the people like like the higher society they're not covering their tracks.
No,
they're like
right now, if you ask me, those high society individuals, they're being very sloppy with this whole shit.
Yeah,
I mean, this
honestly, they failed of getting Donald Trump in office, and that was very sloppy. And look at what happened; they failed that, and then overall, that's who they wanted to get out.
There's certain things that have been worked very sloppily, if you ask me. The 2000 election with the hanging chads, right? That shit was just a fucking scam to begin with. For those who have seen it, Making a Murderer on Netflix, that was done very, very sloppily.
Very,
and then you've got 2020. There's my top 3 right there.
Yeah, big time.
2020 period is a year. Like, it's like, hey, this thing is so dirty. This thing is so... There's conspiracy written all over it. There's lies written all over it. But they're still feeding the same bullshit narrative, which makes me laugh because it's like you're literally lying to us when we can see the truth. But the irony is that the masses still believe what's being said. Why? I don't get why that is outside of
Comfort.
Well, outside of comfort, it's fear.
Yeah.
And
when you have fear, you control
just
people.
the lack of determination to do right. Like some people just don't care.
No, they don't care.
And that baffles me. This is your life. Why do you not care?
It's crazy, man.
I don't get it. But my suggestion to anybody right now, it's November 18th. And we've got what?
This month
2
is
months.
basically over. Like so.
Well, next Thursday's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
Right? A week from tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a month and a half, 2 months, a little less than 2 months before the transition of anything happens, right?
Yep.
You've got 2 months. If you're listening to this and you haven't leveled up or made any thoughts or sit down and do that shit. ASAP.
Yeah.
I'm talking like, don't get off Ken's live yet or don't stop listening to this podcast. Listen to those first. But when you're done, shut everything down, decide what is it you want to do.
Yep.
Because
honestly,
it's time. It's time. It's time to make changes, and it's time to be comfortable with those changes. Yeah. Life is telling us, yo, we've been living wrong, and
for a while,
there's gonna be consequences. There's gonna be. I mean, we could see civil wars happening in the next couple months.
We're seeing a big change coming soon, right, with the stimulus.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about right now.
Yeah.
So
that was going to be my question for you too.
How I feel about the whole stimulus checks.
We're not getting one.
Definitely not getting one, especially with the news that was passed on about it. Was it the first week of January?
Oh, yeah. Nancy Pelosi.
She's like the biggest catalyst of giving out the stimulus.
Good old Nancy.
She holds a press conference today, and they actually showed it on the news. She held a press conference today where she's calling out the Republican side. She's calling out Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell has not contacted her over the past couple of weeks when they promised that the stimulus was going to get done afterwards, right? Now, because we know what happens in early December, the government shuts down for the holidays.
Yeah.
Right? So if they don't do it in the next 3 weeks, which they're so far apart on numbers, it's not going to have an agreement.
Yeah.
That the first time they're going to get in front of each other face to face is early January.
Yeah.
When the presidency changes.
Right. So, well,
maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
around then.
All I see it is that it's to push more of a delay to a solution. So they're seeing, oh yeah, it was a wonderful year, right? Celebrate with their families, such and such, and then all right, let's come back to it. And then by the time we're going to have whoever that's president in office.
By the way, celebrate with your families with these rules. You hear all these rules that are coming out?
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I've heard
first it was
some.
California, now it's New
so
York.
I just don't know how these rules are even going to be implied. Like, what, we're going to have every cop at every household, like, comply with the rules.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is going to be so ridiculous.
Fuck those rules.
Like,
Nobody's going to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting together with my family. Like, I'm going to see my
we do
family.
have our laptops. The government are watching through our laptops, your phones.
Yeah.
Your TVs.
I'll make sure I'll be like, I got 15 people at my house.
Yeah,
Comes and knocks on my door.
So it's going to be really interesting to be like, oh, so this person's getting punished for not complying with the rules.
Right.
So, again, taking away your constitutional rights once again.
Right.
So.
And what happens before the end of December? Anybody?
It's New Year's.
Party.
Unemployment runs out December 26th.
Yep. That's 26th
huge.
Here. And
Merry
it's not
Christmas.
coming back. It's not coming back after.
Well,
right?
It's part of the stimulus negotiations.
Yeah.
So if December 26th, that happens, and nothing is done before the government shuts down, right? And we're still sitting in limbo. December 26th happens. You've still got the rest of December, which is only 5 days after that.
Yep.
But then you've still got that first week of January, which includes New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, etc. Right? So you still got people that don't come back until after that first week is done.
Mm-hmm.
When the government reopens and they decide that they're going to want to have those conversations, they still have to go through the agreements.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking a minimum of probably about a month, unless they get their shit together and do something within 24 hours of getting back into office. You're talking 2 to 3 weeks of people with no work, no money, no nothing.
Yeah.
And they literally just spent their money for the day before.
Yeah. And that's going to be chaos. That could be. I mean, that really could be. I just talked to somebody yesterday, who was, we're at the office. We're like, I think we're at the tail end of everything. I said, no, bro. No, you ain't seen anything yet. So y'all who think that like this was the end, no, that was like the appetizer. Like it's coming. Like I think the real downturn is probably coming too. And I don't think we haven't really seen much from like the COVID or the shutdown, right? We haven't felt like a huge impact yet. We have to soon. Like, how could we not feel it?
Well, we could start that tomorrow because unemployment claims come out tomorrow.
Yep.
So if unemployment claims over the past week increased, because if you look on the forecast for it, it's only like a couple thousand that it was supposed to change and go down by, making it bullish, right? But if with the rising cases, because apparently we just reached 250,000, which, answer me this, why do they continue to go off of this overall number of 250,000 now when
it wasn't mentioned?
When the CDC brought it down to like 9,000? Like
it wasn't even
just
brought
2
up.
months ago?
Yeah. It was after like 3 months in, that's when it was like high, and then it slowly just was not brought up.
And now all of a sudden we reached our 250,000
out of nowhere
in America.
Yeah, out of nowhere. It's just like, let's just put up a number. Everyone's going to believe it. That's the greatest selling point that we could give out to our American people. That's the beautiful
thing is like, so we all get sick of this shit, but then we can also walk away. We can go home. I can open my laptop, my trading view, and say, I don't really care.
Right, I'm
gonna go trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, part of me does freak out and stress. I'm like, God, this is so sketchy. This is so frustrating. Yeah. But I can also say, like Michael, I've taken Michael's advice and Ken's advice and leveled up, and I say, all right, you know what? I'm not that freaked out or stressed because I can go get mine.
So you know, tell me if I'm wrong, but I would assume that the reason why that shit freaks you out is because you care for people.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's not that you're afraid for what's going on, but you're afraid for those that aren't in your position.
In fact, absolutely. I'm afraid for a lot of the people who are around me because my jobs, both worlds I work in, obviously, if y'all are listening, y'all know who I am, what I do in real estate and trading with you guys. Everything in my life is serving others. And I have a lot of relationships around with me, a lot of relationships in my life. And they're very valuable to me. And yeah, I mean, it does go through my mind, like my friends, my family. I'm like, dude, like I feel really blessed. Like I've had a pretty good 2020, but gosh, I don't think everybody has. And I don't think everybody's going to have as good of a 2021 as I am. I would like it, but I'm like, y'all are not prepared. And I'm worried.
And that's the unfortunate side
not
that
prepared.
People can't think for themselves in the sense of, wait, no matter where Alex is at in life, he's telling me something that maybe I need to hear, right? Everybody's like, oh, well, you go do it and let me see what you do, right? Then come back and show me. Instead of like, wait a minute, he's right. I don't care what he's doing. I just need to do something for myself. That's the whole point. Like, nobody should worry about what lane you're in, I'm in. Gordon's in, like nobody should worry about that at all. Everybody's in their own lane. Absolutely. But some people tell each other things like just because, like, it's funny, like it's one of them things like the memes that you see. I don't know who needs to hear this, but right, somebody just might need to hear it for that day, right? Maybe you just need to level up, and that's life picking that person to be at that spot at that time where you're at to literally say, listen to what this person's saying.
I think that brings us to our whole topic of the podcast. And in my opinion, like is now a good time to trade. And I will say that, like Ken said earlier, if you haven't already done it, you need to really reprogram yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit. Like you got to look at life differently. Investing is different. 10, 20 years ago, the main ways to invest were pretty much commodities, real estate, stocks. 2020, no. I can go buy an Amazon store, a Walmart store. I can do cryptocurrency. I can do real estate. I can do a YouTube channel. Like, people have to realize that there are so many, not just ways to invest, but careers and ways to make money. And when I say if you're thinking about becoming a trader, or was it too late? No, but you can reprogram your mindset. You might think, well, I don't know, like, is day trading like real or what? Like, there are plenty of people who that is their career. I mean, look at me, Michael, Ken, Look at what Ken has come from with nothing to. I'm not going to say everything you have, but Ken's blessed and has a lot of stuff. And there's traders. Like, I know that me, prior to being a trader, I don't really know anything about it. I can't necessarily say I looked at it as like a career at all, but it is. And it totally is. So if you're thinking about that and you're listening to us, is now a good time? Yeah, but you first need to do, like Michael said, like figure out what you want to do. And if you do want to do it, adjust your mindset to say, yeah, okay, that can work for me.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And when we're talking about the stimulus package, if people are sitting here worried about running around like, oh, I'm going to get $1,200, well, that $1,200 is only going to last you for how long anyway? Right? When we're talking about the stimulus package, if they give out $1,200 again, I don't know if they will. They might just focus on unemployment specifically. But if they do decide to give it, guess what? What we were talking about yesterday, we were talking about people throwing their rent like for their homes up to like $1,400-$1,500.
Oh yeah.
You can't even when the housing situation, when anything changes with it, you might see the supply and demand, and the demand causing prices to go up, thus making it harder for people to even get homes, renting or purchasing. But you're going to end up seeing that stimulus check not even make what your rent would be. So really, how important is $1,200? Now, if you could take $1,200 and turn it into something, that's different, right? You can make a lot of wealth off of that.
Absolutely.
You started with $1,400.
Yeah.
So, I mean, shit. If people just follow a form of a blueprint, do what they need to do, stop worrying about what's going on outside of their front door, things might be able to be a little bit different where people actually realize, hey, I'm not the individual that I look at in the mirror and I need to do better for myself. And it's funny that this kind of ties all the way into that because this can do all that for you.
Help you grow a lot as a person.
I can't tell you how much mentally and psychologically I've grown over the past 2.5 years.
You have to. You have to grow to be patient.
I feel like I need a newspaper, a pipe, and a rocking chair to read the news every morning. I feel so old now.
You have to,
right? But
old man, Professor Michael.
Hey, but I'm a young 37 though. Let's not get that twisted.
Right. Well, I think one thing I would love to hear your guys' take on before we wrap up. We may stay here all night. I don't know. But first, the stimulus. Like, what if for our fellow traders who are listening to us, what does that look and feel like? Are we paying attention to the stimulus? How does it affect trading at all? Is there anything that we should share, for our fellow traders?
Me personally, what I'm focused on is what they're going to do with the unemployment and how much money is going to be given the unemployment. I don't care what they're sending to us. Could be $10,000. I don't give a shit. I want to see what they're going to do to protect the unemployed, because that's what's going to be the catalyst to whatever happens afterwards. Yeah. Because if you don't take care of the people that are unemployed, which it's a growing and growing and growing number right now that's happening because COVID's coming back, then, I mean, we're going to be up a creek without a paddle, and here we are again, a Band-Aid over a massive gapping wound, right? Those people don't have ways of means to pay for anything. It's a problem. So that's my big call out for anybody. Pay attention to what is being discussed and the stipulations to the unemployment specifically.
Makes sense. I'm with that.
But I also want to add into people that actually are taking advantage on the stimulus state. We have many of our students did, I can name like a good 10 off the top of my head, but use stimulus checks, what they did. They not invest into anything else, funded their trading account, and made something out of it. So yeah, just referring back to what Michael was saying, like if the employment just keeps getting worse and worse, there's going to be a point where a lot of the things that's really important that we need to survive, grocery stores, gas companies, they're not going to want to work when they can't even feed their families. And it's going to be tough. So if you can't get food that's going to make you survive, you can't get from A to B or going to work or whatever that's left of work, it's going to be tough. And then you're going to have people that are not going to have common sense anymore. They're going to start fighting people just because they need to survive, and it's going to get nasty. And a lot of people are just waiting for, the politicians to make the right decision. But let's be real, they're only taking care of themselves. Like they're all taken care of.
They're paid.
They're paid. Like, so you as collectively as Americans, being very knowledgeable of what things are for what it is, and you gotta accept it. Like, this is not gonna just be like, oh, we haven't heard about COVID, so I guess it's going away. Like, no, like this is still gonna play on into you actually fix your current circumstance. Like, so you getting stimulus checks, find something that's passive income that you could truly reinvest. Like, because if you don't truly reinvest and you're spending that, guess what? When everything gets resolved, you're going to have to be paying that shit back.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Government is not going to be
different.
Yeah, taxes are going to be so different. So don't expect, I'm getting free money from it's not free.
Nope.
Nothing that is given to you free is free in America. You got to work for every damn dime if you want to make something out of something.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and literally nothing is free in life because everything costs at least time, which is very valuable. So nothing in life is free. I don't care what anybody says. But
you can get coupons and think it's free. It's not free.
Right.
You still got to pay a difference.
So I wanted to bring this up as well because it's in regards to like government mindset. I was listening to this today because New York is going online school systems right now. Like
all the way?
Yeah. Right now.
Interesting.
They're all being sent home to do online school systems, right? So
I just had somebody I heard somebody in my office talk about this, how it's really affecting her daughter today. Go on, but I'm going to add to it because she just talked to me in my office how her straight A student is struggling now. Like,
that was one thing I was going to bring up.
That's what I said.
It's going to make this country.
Because like you got to look at even the educational system. Nothing has changed in the curriculum.
Right.
Yeah.
So
a partner in my office's daughter. Yeah. She's like, my daughter's been a straight A student for forever. I think she's in 8th grade now. She literally came into my office and was talking about today. It's funny you bring that up. She's failing 2 classes. And she's just been a straight A student for forever. She's like, she just can't. She has trouble. She gets distracted. Like, this online thing does not work.
A lot of distractions at home.
I've met her daughter too. She comes and like interns at her office. She's so smart. She's so go on with New York. But I want to add to that.
Because you got students that are hands-on learning, in school where there's no distractions at all, and coming to being on a Zoom call all damn day. Your mom's cooking, your brother's playing in the background, Zoom, your phone, you getting text messages, IG notifications, like,
Well, what about
let me
the
use
others?
the bathroom.
What about the others, though?
Yeah.
Like, we're on calls for an hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, mute your mics. Yo, mute your mics.
Yeah.
So
people can't even follow the simple instructions. So
I've never had one class where I don't have to say mute your mics.
Right? So by
like,
the time class starts, let's say it's 8 a.m., you give 5 minutes for people to log on. You get 10 minutes of noises and distractions. Your hour-long class just turned to 45 minutes. And not just that, but what if you don't have questions you have questions that don't get answered? You're still left in the dark because there's certain things about, and I thought about this because we get all the time, the 5-day course is an in-learning, in-person type situation where people will be on calls with us, and the 5-day course is what clicked for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what is it about it? Well, I now understand a little bit because I thought about this.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put 30 students into a Zoom call, and even then, we're adults on our calls, right? Our youngest, I think, that we've ever had was like 18 years old.
Yeah.
Let's get 10-year-olds on these things, right?
Gosh.
Now try and control 10-year-olds on a Zoom call. It's ridiculous.
Good luck.
So the struggles are there. It brings down the education level, right?
Even lower.
Right? So there's a major effect to the general public. Now, let's talk a financial effect. Prop 208 was what here? It was the prop to actually raise or keep taxes as the same.
Mm-hmm.
It passed. So our basic sales taxes are going to go up from 8%, right?
Mm-hmm.
That difference is supposed to go where?
Schools.
Public
officials, yeah.
The marijuana laws just passed, right? It's legal. The dispensaries, they're going to add a 16% tax to whatever taxes are the state taxes. So if, let's say, Prop 208 brings ours from 8 to 10%.
So you're 26%.
Now you're talking about a 26% that goes to the dispensaries, right? That tax is supposed to go where?
Schools.
Schools. Why are we going to give more money in taxes to schools that aren't even fucking open?
Mm-hmm. Where's it
They're
going
at
go?
home.
Yeah.
You don't need textbooks.
Computer.
Everything's online.
You need a computer.
So what does that translate to? Oh, our superintendent, you just got yourself a new bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, the 5 people below you, you guys can go ahead and have your bonuses as well. That's the shit that I'm talking about that people are blind to, right?
Yeah, but everyone that was so excited about the product is very excited about marijuana.
That's all they're excited about.
Yeah, but that just goes to show you not being fully educated of what just got passed.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you guys getting excited about able to smoke? When you could actually have more money if we didn't have, taxes increase. Like, right. But people are not knowledgeable about that. They're just getting excited for what they see, but not what they know.
The list of the pros and cons of that is fucking hilarious because when you're talking about the pros, you literally have 2. You can drive around with it as long as it's like in closed bags,
closed container,
right?
Yeah.
They're stapled and shit. But
you don't even want to get me started with Oregon, so.
Hey, we can talk about Oregon because I'm all with that. I'm 100% on their side.
Yeah.
But you have I guess it's a special feeling to walk into a dispensary. I don't care to walk into a dispensary or not, but that's what everybody voted for. I can go into a dispensary and buy a gram of weed. Ooh, great. I can buy a pre-roll. Yay. Right? Cool. Right? But the cons are going to add up even more. Like, it was funny. My buddy actually posted today on Instagram because he went to a dispensary. He's got his medical card and everything. And he said, you guys aren't, like, he paid like $60 for whatever he bought. He's like, with the taxes and everything changes, you guys aren't ready to spend $85 on an eighth. I was like, that's what it's going to come to.
Yep.
People don't get that shit. And that's all
people
because they
will spend their stimulus check on it.
I'm not going to that shit. Fuck all that. I'll still go to my normal guy that I go to.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
But I'm knowledgeable as to what it's doing. You're not going to take my money just because I want to go into a dispensary. You're not going to take my money and put it in the superintendent's fucking purse just because of the fact that it's going to the schools and these kids are at home anyway. As it is, our superintendent's a fool anyway. You know she got sworn in on the Dr. Seuss book, right?
Mm-hmm. In Maricopa County, yeah.
Yeah, she didn't get sworn in on the Bible because she doesn't believe in God or something like that. So they chose a Dr. Seuss book. Next time I go to court, they can pull out a Playboy.
Be like, swear me in on this.
Naked boobies.
Swear me in on this. Sheesh.
Oh my God.
Jokey joke, but anyway, I digress. I just want people to, open your eyes, know what's going on, and decide.
Yep.
Decide for yourself. Like, if this is the time to become independent, it's right now. You can't depend on anybody. And if you're depending on our government, you've already failed.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about you. They're going to eat you up and spit you out and throw you to the side no matter what. So you got to go make it on your own. Just a little personal thing from my side. I didn't value life 20 years ago. In fact, if anybody's watched my my story of myself, at one point I attempted suicide. But when I sit there and I think about this shit and I'm like, holy shit, that kid was an idiot. Yo, life is full of opportunities. Yeah. Like, I can go do whatever the fuck I want. I can make the money that I want. I just have to put the effort for it. But guess what I was back then?
Lazy.
Exactly.
Yep.
Lazy. I wanted to be, I wanted that safety net.
That's what I tell people all the time. Lazy does not pay the bills. Like, even if you're making, millions, like, I'm still working. Like, if I'm like broke.
Same. I always have that mindset.
I never refuse to be comfortable. Like, I don't find anything exciting about it. It doesn't thrill me about it. Like, you don't feel productive when you're lazy. And the worst thing about having that feeling lazy and not being knowledgeable, right? So if you're not able to be learning new things, then it's just like, well, you can't complain because you had an opportunity to make a change and you didn't. Like, you start complaining to the people that, that that care about you, and then you start turning on them, and you know, like you can't depend that someone's just gonna come and save you or this and that. Like, no, like you got to make a hustle out of, you know, opportunities that's right there.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, if you have time to Google, you know, like Uber Eats and stuff like that, like you have time to research on some of that could change your life. So, you know, Google's free. It's free 99 for a reason. So
I like it.
Yep, I'm with that.
I'm with that.
Start getting to work.
yeah. So if you haven't got involved with trading, get involved with trading. This is BlueCapitalAcademy.com. If you have friends that have been a part of the academy or is in the academy, take full advantage. Like, don't waste any time. Look at your bank account. If you like what what the numbers that you like to see, great. If you want to change it, then make it happen. Because yes, this is coming to the ending of the year. You know, you shouldn't be focusing on even getting a gift for yourself. The gift that you should truly be getting yourself is reinvesting into yourself. That's the greatest gift that you could give yourself. Even for my birthday, I didn't even want anything. I was just grateful for the people who could actually attend and just the little things. So, and that is my takeaway from this episode. You know, talk about trading. We talk about the stimulus checks, and yeah, this is the best time to be as independently as possible and focus on the right things that needs to happen for change. So
get it. And hey, here's a suggestion: you guys get your $1,200 for your stimulus check.
Mm-hmm.
We have our 5-day course coming up in February.
Oh, invest. Definitely should come see us.
I'll just throw that plug out there. You know what I mean?
You get to
That's a
come
great
see
way to
us.
say it. That's a great way to do it. Like,
Get to learn how to make money.
but we got to wait till January to find out what's going to happen with that anyway. Either way, we're here. We're waiting on y'all.
Yep. I
So,
love it. We're ready to teach y'all.
For those that decide they want to give us the opportunity,
Yep.
let's work.
Yeah, it's all about it. It's action.
Yep.
Action pays the bills.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, please.
Give us a listen.
Everybody out there.
Oh, man.